Hello, and thank you all for joining us on another episode of Wisdom with Nelly M. So today we're out here in Braamfontein asking people what their take is on depression, what they think, and what solutions do they think they have to tackle depression and to overcome such. Come with me as we go and interview the different people here in Braamfontein. Okay, hi, and thank you for joining us, right? So may you please introduce yourself?
My name is Arno. What's yours?
Yeah. Okay, my name is Nelly. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a few questions regarding and concerning depression in our society. So what is your take on depression?
I mean, depression happens to everyone, but it can be dealt with. It doesn't have to be allowed to get to a stage where now a person can't deal with it and people are now committing suicide,
Depression is something that's very... It's a multidimensional. It's something that a lot of people aren't speaking about because they're ignorant about it. I feel like because of the spirit of ignorance, depression is seen as something that you don't essentially get. It's something that that doesn't exist. It's all in your head. And I feel like if we then emphasize the fact that depression is a sickness and it's real, then we can then ultimately curb it.
Well, when someone is in a state that they cannot control, or a state that they want to get out but they can't get out of, and I know it can be very difficult, and sometimes people can tell when they have depression and some can't, but there's different symptoms, but yeah, that's what I think it is.
I think depression is very real, and I feel like our society hasn't enabled the youth and given them the proper resources and understanding to actually tackle it in a healthy way, instead of like normalizing very bad stereotypes, just posting on the internet that this and this and that. I feel like it's something that's become very normalized, and it's something that's just publicized, and it's for shits and gigs now. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Depression is something that affects a lot of people, my friends, myself included. It takes a toll on you mentally. I know this because I was in homeschool for the past 3 years. I'm out now, thank God. And I think the repetitiveness for me of waking up and just doing the same thing over and over and over, it's after a while that when that depression kicks in and when you start feeling like you can't do it anymore, it affects all aspects of your life. Like relationship-wise, the relationship with my mom, my friends. So it's a pandemic that I think is brushed off too easily. But I also feel like there's a certain portion of people who think it's a game, who think that depression is cool, who glamorize it. Which I don't agree with, which I find very hurtful, knowing that I've felt that way and I've been in that dark space. So, yeah.
Depression is real. It's been understood, but I think people are getting to know what it's really about. I think with the recent cases where celebrities, especially celebrities who have died, I think people are now gaining knowledge about depression.
Okay.
Depression is a lot. Depression, I think, is killing a lot of our youth, and a lot of people are not aware of the effects or the rationalization of how depression is a reality in our lives currently, especially like post-corona. A lot of people are going through many forms of depression. People think it's all in the head. There's financial depression. There's just, it's a lot. So depression is a lot.
I just learned about financial depression. Okay.
Financial depression. It's when you're broke, but you're not broke, but you don't understand how to make more money.
Okay. Yeah. So have you been depressed before?
Yeah, man. I wasn't joking to you when I said, can I call my shrink? I've been depressed. I've gone through depression. It's a process.
So what helped you overcome such?
My people. The people around me. Positive thinking. Minding oneself that there's tomorrow. Check. There's more to the depressed thought or the depressed idea.
So basically you're saying having people around that support you actually helps?
Yeah, no, I think, it's one of the stepping stones to getting better. It's definitely one of the stepping stones getting better. There's having the people around you. There's also reinforcing the fact that you are who you are and you are going to get better at being you at some point. but only if you start realizing that, you know. But yeah, it helps when you're looking like, today I'm having a tough day, and someone goes, hey, Bunny, you're looking cute as fuck. And you're like, thank you.
So positivity.
Yeah, well, a little bit of positivity makes the world smile, you know.
Okay, so what remedy or what solution do you think could work in tackling depression and how to deal with it?
For me, I was once depressed. What I did was I went outside, I connected more with people, I listened to a lot of music, discovered new artists, I worked out. I was just keeping myself busy, you know, so that my mind doesn't go back into the depressed state it was in before. You know?
So you're trying to say that when you keep yourself busy with positive things, like it kind of draws your mind away from suicide and feeling lonely and sad.
100%, because when you're always inside the house and the dark, you're not expressing yourself, you're not going outside to see things, you know. For me, I love cars, so obviously whenever I came outside, I'd see a car, take out my phone, I shoot it, you know, and that's me smiling already, you know. Yeah.
Okay. And what do you think would work in helping those who are depressed, even the young people? Because depression has no age, can attack anyone. So what remedies do you think would work?
Remedies from the actual person who's depressed?
Yes. Or from you, what do you think could help?
I think we have to just look for one another, because the person who's depressed, they hardly talk, but you have to see the signs. It's very difficult to advise someone who's being depressed, because they hardly talk, they hardly want to show signs. So it's our responsibility to look for signs and take care of our lives.
I think trying to find a reason, trying to find a reason and purpose, and doing stuff outside your comfort zone. I think that can really help a lot.
So what solutions do you think you have that could help, you know, minimize this pandemic that we have called depression?
You know, I feel like it's very important to be mindful in your responses about these things, because as somebody who hasn't experienced it, I could be like, no, just meditate, just pray, and but I feel like the first thing is to get on the meds, because there is medication for such. Get on the meds, know what it is to know about it, and talk to somebody. As much as this is literally said all the time, talk to someone. Obviously there is a problem because people aren't talking. True. But just talk to someone, get on the meds, and just know there is help out there.
I think the first thing for me would be just the culture of reducing ignorance. Ignorance that people aren't willing to go out there and learn what hanta depression again, you know. So I feel like curbing that mentality of ignorance that is evident in society would be the first step to actually making sure that awareness is brought out and depression is then put, because you can't really cure something that you don't understand, right? So if the moment you understand and you're cognizant of the fact that, okay, this is depression, this is what it looks like, then even when somebody who's depressed comes to you and says they're depressed, you know the measures to then address that person and speak to them. Because it's one thing to say, oh, you're depressed, you'll be okay. You can't tell a depressed person they'll be okay. I feel like if you don't know what they're going through, they're not really going to take it in and say, oh, I will be okay. So I feel like awareness in terms of knowing and understanding, okay, this is depression, and learning and teaching yourself and taking yourself out of that space of ignorance and putting yourself in a space where you identify yourself and be equipped to know.
Okay, since you've been in that dark space, what helped you to come out of that dark space, and what can help others as well who are going through depression?
I think it may not be for everyone, because your thoughts can be scary, sitting alone and just trying to deal with it. But that's what I did. I'm a lover of Frank Ocean. I love music, and I just tried to sit there and work through why I'm feeling this way, how it's affecting me, and how it's affecting what I'm trying to build for my future and what I'm trying to do for myself, and figure out how can I take this feeling that I have now and use it to my benefit. And what I mean by that is, instead of sitting there feeling like you can't do anything, feeling like you're worthless, feeling like nobody loves you, etc., etc., use that energy and put it into something healthy that helps you get out of that space. And for me, that was music. For me, that was sitting there and feeling what I need to feel and crying and just working through it by myself. And I understand that it's difficult for some people to do that because your thoughts can be scary. You may feel like you can't do it, but that's what worked for me, and I think it can work for someone else as well.
That was all, people. You saw what people think about depression here in Braamfontein, what was their views, and what remedies they came up with. And don't forget to please subscribe to the YouTube channel Wisdom with Nelly M, and follow me on Instagram Wisdom with Nelly M. And that was all for today. See you on another exciting episode of Questions with Wisdom with Nelly M. And don't forget, I am your host with the most, Nelly Ndlovagazi, and see you next time.